The only reason that it thinks it has power over you is because you are in the state of indecision. Once you've decided, you're no longer available for that anymore. You get exactly what you decide to have. So hi and welcome back to my channel. My name is Farrell and I want to talk about deciding, the power of decision. The power of no longer being so wishy-washy that your old identity and your new identity are basically competing with each other for the power over your life. You truly get what you decide to have. What took me so long to figure out in relationships and business and so many different aspects of life was that I was in this in-between. I had this indecision. I had this way of being that was basically a fight. It was chaotic. It took so much energy because I wasn't deciding one way or the other. Your lower self, your lower identity wants you to be in that comfort zone. While when you want to be and step into that higher version of yourself, that leveled up version, that very feminine, divine feminine version of yourself, those cannot coexist at the same time. You have to kill off the old identity to step into the new one. The feminine cannot emerge when you're in this survival mode, when you're in this masculine mode of existing, this program. There has to be no more of the wishy-washy energy, this fighting between this lower and higher version of yourself that wants to stay comfortable. You have to decide. That's the power of decision. Drama doesn't just happen between two people. It can happen within yourself. And it happens between the identities that are fighting in this level up process. And between the identity that we are leveling up into, yet having the one that wants to keep us comfortable, wants to keep us down, wants to keep us fitting in with how we knew how to survive in life. That one is literally kicking and screaming, trying to keep you down there, trying to keep you at this lower version of yourself because it's what you know. It's how you know how to survive. It's what's comfortable. It's what protects you from all the triggers. It's what protects you from actually growing because growth is not comfortable. Dealing with the triggers, and when I say dealing, I mean actually working through them. They come up for a reason. They come up to say, hello, I need to be healed. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for showing up and showing me. But instead we run and hide from them. And this is exactly what keeps people from actually leveling up, and especially in our feminine journey. If we are chasing the feeling of feeling safe from our triggers, this is the great oxymoron because yes, the feminine comes out when we feel safe. That's when she emerges. The feminine energy can only exist in a safe environment. If you're in survival, it can't. But this is the oxymoron. Is that if you try to stay safe from your triggers, they're always going to be there. That's not actually going to keep you safe from them. That's not actually going to keep them from triggering you. If anything, it'll put like more and more pressure on these things that want to be released, on these traumas, on this energy that's being stored within your body that wants to be released from you. And the longer you go without dealing with them, it puts more and more and more pressure on it until it builds up and it's going to release anyways. So this perceived safety is not real safety. We can never have real safety in trying to hide. The only safety is the safety that you create for yourself. And that means your masculine container of like, okay, I got you. I got you. Like, you don't have to hide anymore. You're safe to feel the triggers. You're safe to work through them. All they want to do is be released. All they want to do is be reprogrammed, reframed. That's it. It's not as scary as you think. It can be extremely uncomfortable. The process is extremely uncomfortable. Deprogramming and reprogramming and truly connecting with that feminine essence in yourself. But the place of indecision is what makes it so hard and so painful. It's literally easy once you decide. But it's hard to be going back and forth and trying to lay out the pros and cons of things and get so super logical about, well, like, should I level this part up? Because then so-and-so is gonna abandon me and maybe I'll be rejected. And then if I level up, maybe I'll actually prove to myself that I'm not good enough because I won't actually be able to get there. That's what it was for me. It could be something different for you. But your old self, regardless, will try to talk you back into comfort. Exactly how you have known how to survive throughout your entire life, whether that be 15 years, 20 years, 30, 40 years, all the way up until today. All the way up until that day that you truly decide. Not a mental level decision, not a decision of this logical, okay, I am this person now, and so this is how I'm going to do things. No, this is a soul level decision. This is a decision on the level of consciousness, on who you are, on your core being, especially with the feminine. This is a decision to feel safe in your body, to feel safe enough to relax your nervous system in order to actually let your feminine flow. Literally immerse yourself in this decision. There is no more going back and forth. You have decided. Immerse yourself. Make your phone background your new life. Listen to music that aligns with your new life. Have conversations that align with a higher version of yourself. Make your habits those that on a soul level align with who you are becoming. You have decided. There is no more going back. Think about it this way. How did you become the version of yourself that you are today? Or how did you become that lower version of yourself that's trying to talk you back into getting there? You got there by immersing yourself in the world of the limiting beliefs that you had, of the culture that you were raised in, of the religion that you were brought up in, of the community that you existed in. Some of these beliefs serve you and most don't. These were the rules that we were taught on how to fit into that community, that religion, that culture. You were programmed in childhood and throughout your entire life to exist in a certain way so that you can fit in and survive with that tribe. This is how psychology works. It's the in group. You don't want to be a part of the out group because the in group accepts the people who follow their rules. You were programmed how to behave, what was true and not true to this group. And you didn't question it because you were a child. You looked up to everyone to show you exactly how you were supposed to survive in the world. So there's no shame around it. But now you have the opportunity and the responsibility to the higher version of yourself to actually create this filter and take a deep dive into these beliefs and know that these are not your rules for life. Some of them may be completely false. And you have the ability and opportunity to actually look into each and every one of these and dissect them and create new ones, or say, okay, maybe this was a universal truth. Maybe it was. Maybe 1 out of the 10 beliefs that you have are. But the other 9 may be completely false, and they may just be limiting beliefs that you were raised to believe and that your parents were also programmed to believe from the generation before them. These might have held you back in ways for a really long time, whether that be beliefs around money, beliefs around relationships, beliefs around business, around how you should literally live your life, beliefs around how hard you have to work for something or how easy it gets to be. You get to reprogram these now. As a child, you didn't really have that opportunity. You didn't have that level of awareness or level of discernment to actually go through each one of these and be like, okay, my parents just told me that this was a universal truth or that this is something that was true to them, but you didn't have the discernment to actually be able to question it at that point. But now that our brains are fully developed, we have this opportunity now. And so this is so applicable whenever it comes to leveling up in your feminine, truly accessing that divine feminine essence within us. There's so much masculine, not healthy, but wounded masculine programming that we are put through in our westernized society especially. Is that we have to behave a certain way. We have to show up a certain way. We have to show up the way that men do in the world to be worthy, to be good enough. And these are not true. The beauty is in the uniqueness. The beauty is in the difference. The beauty is in the polarity. And if you want a fulfilling, polarized relationship, if you want to be with a truly masculine partner, if you're a feminine woman, this is inner work that is basically the initiation into feminine energy. If you are brand new to inner work and you are looking for a place to start, I have 2 programs. One is on pre-launch, one is already launched. That would be absolutely perfect for you. The Feminine Foundation is just a deep dive into the science, the metaphysics, and the energetics behind feminine energy. It's a great initiation into it. But I've also created the Quantum Queen Initiation, which I am just launching on pre-launch today. So make sure and go check it out. But this one is like a deep dive into inner work. This one is all of the basics. It goes from feminine energy into how to deal with triggers, how to deal with insecurities that you face, and how to actually work through all of these limiting beliefs that have not served you, that are the reason why you have not gotten to your next level, that are the reason why you're stuck in people pleasing. I call the Quantum Queen Initiation is mainly the initiation from the triggered feminine, from the wounded little girl. This can even include the wounded masculine in women. Stepping into this goddess energy. Stepping into the next level where you're no longer a victim to yourself. This is alchemizing your victim story into being the lessons that you learn for your level up, for your growth. What you are here to share with the world. And so this is the power of inner work. It will change your entire life. It will change your experience in the world. So check out those links below. I'll put them there. And just remember the power of decision. The fight, the chaos, all of the internal drama is in the in-between of decision. Is in the indecision. That's where it is. It's in the fight, the kicking and screaming that your lower identity is trying to pull you back down. The only reason that it thinks it has power over you is because you are in the state of indecision. Once you've decided, you're no longer available for that anymore. You're no longer available for the triggers. You're no longer available for even the boundary crossing that you cross yourself. For the lack of self-trust, for the lack of boundaries that you have with yourself. You're no longer available for any of it. And that's the power of decision, because then it gets to be easy. Because you've already decided. There's no going back now. This is where all of the self-sabotage happens. So if you're ready to dive into that inner work and truly get to that next level, check out the links in my bio. But until then, I'll see you in the next video.